Welcome back, everyone. So let's remove the bookmark and continue our epic tale. So, Liberators, it is now nighttime. You had 8 hours to complete anything you were doing, such as writing spells, making notes, reading books, or just resting. King, since you have now rested for the full 8 hours and you have not benefited from a long rest within 24 hours, you can now get a long rest and not risk getting any exhaustion.
Oh, nice.
You cried yourself to sleep.
And, it's while that was going on, I guess there might be some inspirational or perhaps positive speeches coming from Manako, giving those temporary hit points. But I don't know if they would last for King, because he was asleep the whole time.
Alright, so during the 8 hours, Manako gives an inspiring speech, giving you all the 20 temporary hit points. How much is it?
It is 16? I'll just apply that.
16. Alright, give me all the 16 temporary hit points. But King, you awaken from your slumber. Your dreams were empty, pretty much solitary. You never felt more alone during your time sleeping. And then you open up the door to go back into the common area where everyone else is lying in wait. And is there at that point when Nora Diora comes down saying, "Yeah, everyone, it looks like Queen Camilla sent your contact. She's right outside." And he goes and leaves the chateau.
Noir, we'll be right there.
He goes and closes the door back behind him.
We shouldn't keep them any longer. Let's go. After collecting all of my things.
So you guys going dressed as how you were? I mean, if you didn't wipe off the makeup and things, King, it's
probably still smudged, but I'm just gonna go out like that and just deal.
Okay.
Oh, King, hold on. Do you need a little? And she'll lick her thumb and then smudge some of the thing on his cheek.
Just quickly, we don't have time. We shouldn't make them wait any longer. Let's just go. And I'm gonna give her 1 second to make a wipe and just walk as her hand is still smearing on my face. Just walk away.
Okay.
Just dead-eyed.
So all those who are still in your disguises, you're in your disguises. If not, you have your hoods on, and you begin to walk outside of the chateau. Making your way past the kitchen onto the other side, you see Nora Dior on the outside of Blue Dragon Blind, standing next to an adjudicator. You haven't seen this adjudicator before, though they have red skin and horns, signifying because they are a tiefling. They are wearing that green garment of armor, that signifying their stature as an adjudicator. She walks up to you. Right, are you the... She whispers this. Are you all the Liberators?
Yes.
Great. Come with me. The Queen is waiting, along with the Captain. She decided to make an appearance. When she says this, she kind of blushes a little bit, looking away from you, looking towards the side, and then snaps back to it. Come follow me.
We follow.
Okay. So you all make it throughout the streets of Fia. Takes you about an hour to walk to get to the other side where the wharf is located. But passing by all the buildings and the empty streets, as it's quite late, almost 1 o'clock in the morning at this point, you do go down a large hill before seeing off in the distance the ocean and the other icebergs that float within them. There you also see several ships off into the distance, docked, as well as a pier and other things that you would know from a wharf area. Finally making your way down from the paved streets onto the wooden planked pier, you see standing next to with an opulent, beautiful ship with 3 large 30 feet sails that are paper thin, almost razor sharpness. This icy blue hulled vehicle that's both white and blue almost, and then when you blink a little bit it seems to kind of vanish from your vision, and you have to kind of do a double take, and then it appears once again. It always seems to be shimmering, how very pristine. It's etched with gold markings and the symbol of the royal family of Fia onto it as well. Standing next to it you see are 2 cloaked figures. As you walk, the adjudicator leads you all the way up to the cloaked figure next to this boat. You smell the sea salty smell and the sounds of the waves crashing on the shore next to you. The adjudicator looks over and bows towards one of the cloaked figures and then says, "Safe journeys," and begins to walk off. Pulling down her hood, you see Queen Camilla herself standing there with her majestic blue skin but her black cloak covering the rest of her armor that she has underneath. "Liberators, glad to see you can make it. I brought your guide here." And when she says that, she smiles and looks away from you. little bit before, like, shaking herself off. I believe you have met before? And the cloak figure takes off his hood, and you see it's the only human that you have found here so far in your travels throughout Shiverin, the boisterous leader of the Shiverin Seekers Guild, Lancel.
Are you kidding me?
Lancel, what are you doing here?
He's like, well, I have a personal relationship with Queen Camilla herself, and she reached out to me and asked if I can guide you because no one knows the Golden Sea better than I do.
I'm glad to be in your company once again, Lancel.
Oh, you again. So good to see you, Lancel.
Of course, it's good to see you as well. And the Queen Camilla looks on over. This reminds me of the time, love, when, where did we go on that adventure? When we fought that, was that creature? Oh yes, and he goes, yes, it was the sea serpent. And she turns, no, of course not, it was the sea serpent, it was the coral dragon that we fought. Do you not remember? Right, sure. We've been through so many adventures, it's hard to keep count.
We have 3, no 4, no 5, no 6 heads.
No 7, no 8. As he starts talking, Horatio interrupts him as well.
Lancel chuckles. Well, right. Well, here's my prized ship known as the IceCrown. It's enchanted, of course. Should help you on your way. It's hard to see when it's off at sea. It's has the ability to shimmer and shake into the wind in the ocean and blend in. Now, I wouldn't use it as some type of cloak of invisibility, but it should keep you at least out of sight from the eyes of Shiverin on the shores, especially by the watchtowers. And she goes towards the ship. Come in. We must discuss your route, where Lancel will take you. And she goes and walks up the plank that leads up to this beautiful ship and stands onto the deck. Lancel follows her as well. And as you all, unless you have any protests or anything like that, do you guys just walk up as well?
Yeah. Does it look like there's any other eyes prying, or like, I know it's later in the evening, so there probably shouldn't be too much commotion on the docks, but what's the scene look like?
It's quiet. There's no one around except for the sound of seagulls chirping in the sky. There's not another soul in sight. Roll me a perception check to see if you can see anything beyond that. And it is very dark. All of you who don't have dark vision are having a hard time seeing.
Unfortunately, Duran's a bit mentally preoccupied. He is not performing his normal vigilance duties.
King of 10. Do you have dark vision?
Out to 60 feet.
Okay. So you go off and peer around. Doesn't seem that anyone's following you. It seems pretty empty. The adjudicator took you down a back route that was away from any open roads.
Okay. After doing a quick look around and feeling pretty secure, I'll follow Lancel and the Queen onto the boat, or just Lancel if she's staying.
They're both going to the boat.
They both go on? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So as you all go and enter one by one, you step onto the boat. Looking down, you almost lose your balance because you can see the ocean below it. It's there's actually many things you feel when you first enter the boat. The first thing is you pass through some type of barrier, almost, and it was slightly tangible, and then you feel a resistance as you walk in there, and then when you look up around, you see a shimmer around the boat itself. Then looking down, you see that the ocean is beneath you. It's like a glass flooring. You can easily see through and see the fish and other type of sea creatures and the waves crashing below the ship. And everything around it is pristine.
King is immediately put off. I get so uneasy. And now the fact that we're leaving dry land is even worse, that there's no shield to the water beneath him.
Minako tries to, she holds King's hand.
He gladly accepts and squeezes occasionally when he sees something that's frightens him. He's definitely uneasy on the water.
I've never been on a boat either.
This is crazy. I thought that there's wood and metals and things beneath us, but this one just seems to be clear. Why can we see the water? It's freaking me out, and there's things down there. I know there's things down there, but we could see them, and I didn't expect to see them.
Does Horatio know if this is a spell of some sort?
Roll me an Arcana check.
I got an 18.
18, okay. Feeling out your putting out your magical feelers and trying to feel if there's any magic coming around, you do get a sense of arcana coming off this ship. Definitely, all around you. From the barrier that you entered in there, through everything you're looking at, you do sense some type of magic. It's witnessing that you are all a little off-put by the ship, Queen Camilla turns around and says, "Oh, right, I'm sorry. Welcome to the IceCrown. It's an enchanted boat. Not only does it blend in with the surroundings somewhat, there is a protective barrier around it in case of attacks, though it's not foolproof. There are weapons on the ship that you can access through by the stern," and she points to the back of the ship. There are 3 cannons on both sides that shoot out magical energy. Now, there are also other settings for your comfort here on this ship. This is a view that I like to witness as I travel throughout my time on the ocean in the Golden Sea. I like to see what's beneath me. If you want, you can put it back to its normal setting, and all that is done down below, near the ship's core. You will also find that by its core, you also find down there its core, which powers the ship. It's a strange technological advance that we were able to develop here in Shiverin, and it powers all of the enchantments upon this. If you ever find it goes out, there are instructions on how you can repower it below. But Lancel knows all this and will be able to assist you. You have nothing to worry about. Right, exactly. You're in good hands, Liberators.
I would still like to read that instructions on how to power it in case of an emergency.
Of course. But first, we must discuss your route. Please follow me down below. We'll to the captain's quarters. There we can put out the map and decide which sea route you'll be taking. And she goes and starts to walk down the ship.
Lancel, what's happened with the Seekers since we've left?
Right, well, seems that Hiei has taken over Frostmoor, but he wants to take over the Seekers Guild and usurp me.
That might happen. I mean, not the usurping. That is obviously what he's trying to do, but should he get control of the Seekers Guild, isn't there the magics or technologies to send items above and below levels? That is not a technology we should let fall into his hands, don't you think?
Well, I'm quite sure he won't be able to use it, but yeah, I don't want him or any of his demon dancers finding out any of our secrets and using it against us. But don't worry, all the Seekers are safe within there. I've sealed it off. There's only one way in and out, and it's the way I used to come and talk to Queen Camilla after she reached out to me. So we can be sure that they won't be able to get in.
Okay.
Well, in any case, come on, let's see if we can plot our route. And he goes and walks downstairs as well, following Queen Camilla. And as you all kind of go down with him, he goes to the table, unfurls a big map of Deathhaven, and he goes ahead and towards the map where the section of Fia where you are, he points to it. We're here, this is Fia. Now, we want to stay as far away as we can from the coast so we're not caught, especially by Broken Bay Watchtower. But all these places here, and he points to all the cities that have anchors next to them, these are places where we can dock. If you're trying to get to Thelos, which way would you like to go, Liberators?
It looks like the fastest way is if we just go here. Shouldn't that be what we do, guys? She points right at Beach Bell.
But we have to be careful. Lancel said and Camilla said that Broken Bay is rather close. They could potentially spot us and alert that we're headed there. Maybe we should go here, and then I'll point to Axehead City and travel by land.
Horatio says, Axehead definitely seems like it's the safest, closest one. But would they be expecting that as well?
I don't know. Lancel, do you know of... Are there, like, river boats that we could potentially take up through Thelos? Like, via here? And then I'll point to River's End on the map and say maybe we could take this boat all the way there and then transfer to a smaller river boat and go upstream to the capital. Surely that seems unexpected, although it might be a bit longer.
He turns to you and says, well, to get from here to Axehead, it'll take about a 10-day. To get towards River's End, that's at the south of Thelos, probably another 5 more days. So expect about 15 days out in sea. If you want to go straight to Beach Bell, well, it depends. If we hug the coast, though we'll risk being sighted, it takes us about 2 to 3 days. Or we can kind of wrap around towards the open sea, and then head straight across there. And then that would probably take about 5.
Do you think that's safe enough? I mean, we can't lose this letter. We have to be able to get there.
But every day we waste are more lives on the line.
I think that maybe we should heed the advice of travelers who've sailed these seas. And I look to Camilla and Lancel, and I say, do you think it is prudent to go to Beach Bell and try and go as quick as we can? or should we possibly delay and go a little bit further?
Queen Camilla turns and says, well, time is of the essence here. At any moment, the forces from Frostmourne and the Demon Dancers will be upon Fia's steps. No, they come claiming that they want to talk. I'm sure it's all just a ruse to take over Fia. He always planned to make Frostmourne the true capital and usurp me. So time is of the essence. We need to make sure that this letter gets into the hands of King Terminus himself. But we need to be safe. Like I said, there are enchantments on top of this vessel, but they're not foolproof.
Is there an enchantment that prevents people or things from magically appearing here via teleportation or such rituals? I could help aid in our protection, but I'm unsure if it is a duplication of your efforts.
Well, the barrier of this will protect against physical attacks or anything that tries to enter the ship without prior permission. Of course, Lancel here, myself, and you all have permission to enter in there. And if you wish to block or allow others to come in there, you simply must do it down at the ship's core, where the power source is located. If you wish to read the instructions, you can go down there and it will explain more to it. But Lancel here is very versed in it. Other than that, it does not protect against things that can possibly override the magic, though it's quite powerful. A truly strong person in the divine and arcane arts would be needed to break through, or of course constant attacks on it can weed away at it slowly.
Okay. Well, if time is of the essence, then we should not dally. I think that we should give a little bit of a wide berth to Broken Bay Watchtower, and then go into the open oceans of the Golden Sea and make a wide berth towards Beach Bell, as that will then be the closest port city to Delos. But I am no navigator, and I am most uncomfortable on the sea, but just looking at this map, that seems the best course of action to me. And I'll sort of like take a step back and just like, I'm like swirling a little bit, like as if I'm woozy from being on a rocking boat.
Alright. Lancel turns and says, I think that's a great idea. Alright. Are we all in agreement? Or does anyone else have any other ideas?
That actually sounds like the best option to save both time and to maintain ourselves hidden.
Well, alright then. Queen Camilla turns to you all. She turns to you and says, you do know how much you do for all of Shiverin, no, all of Duskhaven, in taking on this task. It will be rifled with dangers. Trust no one, and make sure this letter goes directly to King Terminus himself. You're a resourceful group. You've made it and saw me, after all. I'm sure you'll be able to get an audience with King Terminus. Believe in yourselves. I believe Nyx has placed you on this path. All of you. You're all touched, guided here by divinity. The destiny of all of Shiverin, no, all of Duskhaven, lies in your hands. And she goes and gives you all a nod, gives Lancel a little wink and a look, and then slides past, making her way, putting the cloak over her head, walking up the staircases to exit the IceCrown. And she turns around to Lancel. Take care of them. They are heroes. Without them, I'm sure we are surely lost. And she heads off, leaving the ship. So Lancel turns to you. Well, shall we head off? I'll go ahead and get started and get the ship moving. You can make yourselves at home. There are several rooms you can take, enough for all of you. Or you can just sleep in the gigantic common room that they have here. You know how royals are. Very.
So from inside of the ship, do the rooms have like transparent walls, or?
Why don't I show you guys around? And Lancel starts to walk down more stairs that you see there. As you go down the stairs following him, you do hear a humming sound coming from one direction, but he leads you into the other direction. There are several rooms inside. Now, when you go inside of it, it's trippy because it's like you're in an aquarium. All the water's around you. It's like you're in the water at this point as you go down. He then opens up one of the door, and you kind of jump back thinking that it's going to open up to nothing but water, but opening inside is just a nicely furnished room. Beautifully furnished with a bed and everything like that.
Yes.
Horatio, please read the book and put it back to normal. Put it to wood. Please. Horatio, read the book. Horatio, read the book. Please. Find the manual. Set the basement to wood. I'm like uttering this under my breath as like low as possible, but like audible so you can hear it. Maybe the rest of the people hear it, but I'm like jarred every single moment we're like under this water.
I will work on that, King. It's not that bad, actually.
And during this entire walk, you do see there are several rooms. And Lancel points, you can have any of these rooms here. And if you want the common room, it's straight down there. And he points all the way down the end of the hall to a larger door. But he doesn't walk down there. He goes, well, I'm going to go and man the helm. Get started. We'll be out in 15 minutes. So make your final preparations, and I'll alert you.
Can you show me where the core is, Lancel?
Just make your way down here, and he points to the other side, the side where you heard the humming coming from. If you go down there, down the stairs, you'll see the ship's core is located, as well as some instructions letting you know how it functions.
Alright, great, thank you. And Horatio turns around and heads there immediately.
Okay. So the rest of you go to your separate rooms, or areas where you like to go. Horatio heading down the stairs. You walk down, the humming gets louder, until eventually you're in a large room with a strange apparatus. It looks like almost a furnace, but through the glass window that is this large furnace, you see is a glowing white and blue ball that's pulsating back and forth. There's pipes and other types of mechanical metalwork attached to other things within this room that seem to be pumping out this energy that you can just immediately sense this is the power source of it. Next to it, there is a booklet that is attached to the furnace-looking device. Opening up, you do read. It is an instruction manual on the ship itself, the IceCrown. It basically says that the IceCrown has the ability to alter its appearance. To do so, you just think of what you want it to look like, as an appearance of a ship. So you can't make it look like an animal or something like that. It has to be something identical to a ship look, and it will take on that form, almost an illusionary tactic, or it could just be on autopilot where it will just manually go in and out and shimmer, as Queen Camilla has stated. There's also weaponry on this. To access the weaponry, you have to be on top of the ship, back by the stern. There seems to be a compartment you enter that'll let you go into a ballista cannon that connects to the 3 cannons six cannons, 3 on each side of the ship, where you can use to fire a large distance of magical energy. All this powered by this power source here as well. And then you also see how you can augment the look of the boat to do what King had requested. And it's all done from here.
Okay, would Horatio know of a way to just make a specific room look normal and the rest of the ship look like it is now?
Yeah, so you can easily, and with your keen mind, within the 15 minutes that Lancel is preparing, you skim through it and you read the instructions. It's actually pretty simple, at least for you anyway, and you see how you can easily augment any section of this ship, or it entirely if you want.
Well, what Horatio wants to do is he wants to maybe make it so that the people who are on the boat can see the ground, basically, but the outer shell of the boat is still hiding it. You get me?
Okay, so you fiddle around with it for a second, and the rest of you inside see the ship begin to shimmer, and although it doesn't physically shake, but the look of it begins to shake, and everything becomes blurry. And once it solidifies, you see that the ship becomes completely wooden, as wooden slats.
Oh, thank God. He found it. Oh.
Turns back to a normal-looking ship with no see-through, like an aquarium.
Oh. I'm dabbing my head because I have cold sweats.
Are you okay, King?
I think I'll be better now. I just need a day to get my, what did they say, sea legs?
You look queasy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lay down.
As a note, Horatio left his room see-through, so he wants to be able to see the bottom.
Okay.
I just go lay in the common room, so that way I'm not sleeping. I'm just sort of laying there with my eyes closed on a couch, but I'm not sleeping.
All right. The common room is quite large, at least 5 times the size of any of your rooms. It does have some type of refrigeration area, or a metallic box that inside of it you see are different cooled beverages and meals.
It's a box of cooling.
It's like a magical box of refrigeration using some type of ice magic, similar to what you saw at Aerowatch. Inside it is fully furnished with food that can last you far into your journey. But as well, there is also a kitchen and other amenities here, as you can easily find on the maps that have been placed between several different areas on this ship. So you always know where you are. But there are couches that you can easily sleep in and nap in and relax. There's a hearth. It looks like a normal common area, but it's on a ship, an enchanted ship. So at this point, you all hear Lancel announce throughout some type of device or magic within this vessel. All right, we're shipping off. Hold on to your horses and say goodbye to Shivering. And then the boat begins to move, and you all feel the jerk of the boat almost, and it gets you a little bit off-put. It makes you a little off-put because it's a jarring motion. But nevertheless, Horatio, you can see this if you're in your room at this point. The boat begin to move, and it slowly but surely glides off, catching the wind, sailing away from the shores of Fia. All right? And you all sail off into the dust-lit sky, off into the heart of the Golden Sea, making your way towards Beachbell. Yes, so you it's around 2, 3 in the morning. Even though King, you did sleep, you can still go to sleep. You just won't benefit from a long rest, but the rest of you are starting to get tired. Is there anything you want to do? While Lancel is at the helm, guiding the ship as it's sailing very quickly. It seems to be a fast-moving ship throughout the ocean. If not, we will go into the morning.
Duran is going to wait for later to approach King around when everyone's going to their rooms for bedtime, sleeping shenanigans.
I have been hanging out in the common room, and then after about an hour, I start to feel a little bit better, but I cast Aid specifically on myself, and I know that it normally gives the increase to HPs, but it also says bolster your toughness and resolve, so I'm casting it on myself as if to like you're okay, you're not going to get seasick, you're going to get through this, to like bolster my resolve and sort of comfort myself. And you see me sort of sitting in the common room, just sort of like flipping through some notes by myself.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything specific?
I'm going to be at the forward of the ship, taking in the breeze and kind of looking ahead of us as we're sailing.
Alright, so Kyle, you walk up to the bow of the ship and look on. You see behind you, all the way back by the stern, the helmsman of Lancel guiding it as you look forward. It's pretty quiet, pretty empty.
Minako will also be above deck, just staring as her home leaves in the distance, kind of sadly.
Okay. Horatio doing anything specific before bed?
He's just gonna read his alchemy books and all of that stuff just to freshen up on his goal to duplicate the Felix releases.
Okay. Roll me a intelligence check.
Alright. Oh my god. I would like to use an inspiration, and we'll add a d8 to that. Okay, so with the 2 on my d8 inspiration and the 14 on my roll, it comes up to 16.
Alright, 16. It's not one of your best study sessions, though. You do manage to progress a little bit further, finding out the secrets. You don't really find anything new about the Felix Felices, but though you do solidify the little bit of knowledge you know about it, knowing that it's connected somehow to the curses, like an anti-curse almost. But how it's doing that, you don't know. Part of you feels like you might need to ask the Seekers more questions, as though they are the ones who developed this. But nonetheless, that's a reasonably successful study session before you head to bed. King, are you staying in that room, or are you, like, for sleeping purposes for the rest of the night, or are you going back to your own bedroom?
Because I, like, sort of slept through the day, I'm sort of, like, not tired, maybe when everyone else is sort of heading to sleep, so I was gonna stay up and just read through some of my notes for a little bit, but eventually make my way towards one of the rooms to rest for the evenings.
Okay, so at this point, everyone, unless Minako, Cal, does anything, but as you're on the deck, do you do anything else, or do you just finish and go to bed as well?
There's just sort of a moment when she kind of takes in the fact that she's leaving, and as she's going back down, she gives Cal a look and just says, "Well, maybe they're not all so bad," and then goes down.
I follow like a minute or two afterwards.
Alright, so at this point, everyone's heading towards their beds. Very comfortable. Duran, you notice this point, and at this point, you see King go into his room, and you can go there as well, seeing everyone else going to bed.
Awesome. Duran has been spending the past few hours in his head trying to figure out how to say sorry to King. He has no good answers yet, but he will still go to King's door and knock on it.
So King, you hear a knocking at your door before you fall asleep.
I will open my door and see Duran standing there and say, "Please come in."
Cousin,
It's okay. I know you didn't mean it, and I'm sorry too. And I'll like take his hand and like pull him in and close the door so we can have a private conversation. I'll walk over and sit on the bed.
I did not mean to hurt you.
I know. And I'm sorry I told you just to walk away. I never want you to walk away from me. I like look at him deeply and I say, I need you.
I promised that I would protect you, and I was afraid, and I'm still afraid, but I promise I'll protect you.
You protect me every day. You're one of the most diligent, strong, powerful men I know. I feel safe when you are around me, and I'm scared too.
We're surrounded by drow wizards, gods, demons, whatever deja vu was, and there are so many things that seek to harm you from every side, and I'm just afraid of losing you.
This world is filled with dark things, and I know that I will be alright as long as you are by my side. You will not lose me.
Gestures to hug King very deeply at that statement.
I embrace him back, and after a moment, I will just pull back like a little bit, and I'll hold up my hand in his hand, and I'll say, I bound myself to you. And I'll point to the ring that I'm wearing and the ring that he is wearing. And then I will subtly cast Warding Bond, and they will both start to glow and say, we are one. I share myself with you completely.
Duran hears his heart pounding in his ears.
We're in this together, Duran. I need you. And I'm gonna lean up and try and kiss him.
Duran meets King's kiss with his own, and he embraces him with the cradling motions of the Queen's IceCrown on the ship.
And then I'll just lay in his arms and fall asleep in his arms.
Okay. So after that touching moment and display of affection, you both fall asleep on King's bed with the rocking motion of the ship lulling you to sleep, and you all have peaceful sleep and rest upon the IceCrown, and you wake up the next day. So as the dawn approaches, or the figurative dawn approaches, you all awaken, completing another long rest from your rooms. Lancel's still up top, guiding the ship. Those of you who can see outside, you can see the ship is still moving full speed. The shore has went from its lighter tone to more of a deeper, darker tone, letting you know that you're in open ocean at this point. So, what do you do, Liberator, this morning?
When Horatio gets up, he will try to find Lancel.
Okay. You make your way up towards the top of the ship, to the deck, to the helms, where the helmsman is, and you see Lancel's guiding the ship on the helm, and he sees you coming up. Ah! How can I help you?
Hey, Lancel. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a few questions. Maybe, I know you probably not, but maybe you can help me out.
Sure, Horatio. How can I help?
What do you know about the production of Felix Felicis?
He looks at you, bewildered for a second, and snaps back to it. It's an ancient magical thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of just looks away from you, not locking your eyes, continuing to guide the
Insight
ship.
check.
Roll an insight check. Ooh.
I rolled a 24.
24, okay. Something about the interaction totally rubbed you the wrong way. You talked about the Felix Felicis with Lancel before, and it was a normal thing that Seekers know about, but he just seems to be not about it. He's very suspicious.
What's your deal, Lancel?
My deal? Why, I'm Lancel. I'm the leader of the Shivering Seekers Guild.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
It just seems like anytime I try to ask simple information from you, you either hide it or lie about it.
What are you talking about?
Do you not remember previously speaking to me about the Felix Felicis?
Of course I remember.
So why are you so off-put by it now? What did you do?
I didn't do anything. Horatio, you're acting pretty strange.
Sorry.
I gotta concentrate on guiding the ship. This takes a lot of mental prowess to do so.
Sorry, it's been a bit stressful. I'm kind of on edge right now.
Right, so you should just go down and relax a bit. Don't worry, I got this.
Right.
You can rest assured.
He walks and he looks for his allies.
something with your 24 insights, something about the interaction just seemed odd. Even more odd than when you talked about him when he was being a little jaded about the dreaded waters. That seemed like he was just mostly talking about the dreaded waters. Just something about him just now, but definitely from your interaction, you picked up was off.
Yeah, so I immediately go to find the group.
Okay. You go downstairs. The rest of you all appear from your rooms, either meet in a common room or just out and about.
Minako will be preparing a spread for everybody when he gets back.
So we'll assume that all of you decide to meet up in the common area. That's what you normally do. And inside Minako, you've prepared a beautiful spread of all the items. I don't know, a combination of horse bacon and mushroom soup items. You create all that, but a beautiful spread of it where whoever's in there is now eating and enjoying the meal.
If we're all in here, I'll actually put up the dome, like right away. He'll put up the dome around us, and he'll say something about Lancel. He's not getting a weird feeling from him.
Yeah, it's Lancel. He always gives weird vibes.
No, like something to hide feeling.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, was it Horatio Duran says as he starts to reach for his blade?
Are you saying he's not himself?
I don't know if it's not that he's not himself. I mean, we had an incident. I asked him about the dreaded waters, and he felt weird when he was answering it. Like, he tried to avoid it. And now, today, I asked him about the Felix Felicis, and he just puts off a vibe like he fucked something up and doesn't want people to find out.
Are you sure? He always embellishes with his but 2, but 3, but 4, but 5, and I do love Lancel.
And he hasn't done that, has he?
He has not done that, actually.
And didn't the Queen have a conflicting story of things that happened with him?
She did.
You don't think...
Wait, do we have something we can ask him that only he would know?
I knew Lancel before all this.
So is there something you can ask him? Yeah.
I think we should all go together. I don't trust this.
I agree.
The real Lancel is quite a great warrior. I know one way to test it.
Alright, so what are you all doing?
I believe we're gonna go confront Lancel real quick.
We're gonna go question the heck.
Yeah.
If we do need to leave, I can get us out of here.
Unless the magic on the ship would stop you.
We could jump overboard and do it. The magic still works when you're wet.
If anything, he'll be leaving the ship.
Does any one of us know how to Duran makes the kind of gesture you would when you're steering a horse?
Well, Horatio's been reading the manual.
Yeah, I mean, should I need to take over this, I can. But
yes, let's talk to him first and see what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, let me talk to him, and then if something turns around, come in and do backup. Okay, guys?
We're not gonna be too far away.
Stay within range, and we will go to where Lancel.
Okay. So you all make your way up from the bottom of the ship up towards the deck. You look behind you, seeing that atop by the helm is no one. Lancel is not there, and the ship is not moving.
It's a trap.
Horatio immediately rushes and runs down to where the core is.
Okay, as you turn around and rush to where the core is, the door slams behind you. You hear a clink locking sensation, and you see standing towards the stern of the deck, Lancel staring with his arm crossed, staring at you. But his voice definitely does not sound like Lancel when he says, "Well, well, well. Looks like you guys caught on faster than I thought." Well, and then as he says this, Lancel begins to shimmer and fade down, and the familiar white blobular humanoid of Deja Vu completely transforms, standing there, like well on the other side of the ship. They turn towards you, saying, "Well, I guess I should know the jig would be up eventually. Oh, that stupid Lancel goes on, and his mind is so hard to dive into. I couldn't get that much information without being lost with the for not one, but two, but
What have you done with Lancel?"
Alas. Oh, well, the Dark Lord has him. Has all of the Seeker skill, that is. He is just but a pawn for his ultimate goal. And now that Shivern will be under our control shortly, I mean, look how easily I was able to infiltrate Queen Camilla. She didn't even know we had already taken over. But it is my job to make sure that you all stay out of the way. So, if you don't mind, and as they say that, they pull out a gigantic horn that's behind and immediately blows into it. And all of a sudden you hear...
As he's gonna blow into the horn, can I quick draw and shoot at the horn to shatter it?
You can.
And to sweeten the deal, I will. I'm going to scream out Kalemvor's name and channel my divinity to add 10 to the shot to ensure that I smash the shit out of it.
Sure, you can certainly go ahead. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Uh,
Actually, because it's a fast motion, don't roll the attack. Roll me a dexterity check versus their dexterity check. See who's faster.
Okay, let me. Can I still use that ability then? Is that gonna conflict with that? Because it's for an attack roll with the guided strike.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to use it in this case because this is not. We're not really making attacks how fast you can get your gun out, as it's like such a fast motion that it's not like they went behind really slowly and pulled it out slowly. They just like whipped it out, and you saw that, and you're trying to quick draw.
Okay, so it's a dex save or a dex throw.
Dex check versus their dex check.
Well, I have a feeling that with a 6 plus 3, 9, I am not going to get that.
Okay, so. As you quick draw and go towards shoot to it, Deja Vu already is able to bring it to their mouth and blow through it and kind of releasing this. But you are able to let out a shot to see if you can shatter nonetheless. Now you can make your attack against it, but the sound has already been made.
Okay. Then I'm just going to make a normal attack if the damage has been done. 25.
Oh.
17. Save.
Okay. 25. So as the sound has been hit, you shoot it. The horn shatters with the bullet. Well, you're using magic pistol. Okay.
Yeah.
So the horn shatters from being hit by the bullet into pieces, and you just see JJ like, whatever. Now I won't be able to control it. No matter. It has its orders. It knows what to do. Well, it's been a pleasure, Liberators. Have fun. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. Oh, and one more thing. You should probably check out that power source down below. And as they snap their fingers, the ethereal energy that's been blocking the ship, that's been protecting the ship, shimmers and goes from its kind of thin blue-like shimmer into a more of a darker reddish, chaotic red hue to it. And you immediately all start to feel... You don't know what you feel, but definitely the magic in the area is not what it was before. As Deja Vu jumps off the edge of the ship and says, "Ta-ta for now," and just falls off. At that moment, you all hear a rumbling. Oh, you all feel a rumbling and hear it off into the distance. About 70 feet off, you see a bubbling happening into the water, into the deep ocean, as it begins to shake faster and faster and harder and harder, and to the fact that your boat now is swaying back and forth, you see coming up a large shell. I mean, a humongous island-like shell pop out of the water, and coming up, you see below it is a lizard-like creature, a gargantuan in size, almost 3 times the size of this ship, begin to step up. It has a dragon-like face and a tortoise shell for its back, with pointed, jagged teeth and lizard-like skin that are falling off. Its eyes are black and yellow, and off of it is boiling off a misty-like miasma. And you all can just feel the demonic energy coming off of this creature. As it's finally, with a last push of the water hitting up against your ship, it almost capsizes it in the sides, but all of you, quickly make me a strength saving throw, see if you can keep your balance, as the waves are crashing against it, because it's a humongous gargantuan creature at this surface.
Make sure you add 4 if you're near me.
Yeah, you're all within that area.
I rolled a 4 plus 1 is 5 plus Cal's 4 would make it 9.
I rolled a natural 20 plus 6 is 26.
I'm sorry, did you say a strength or dexterity saving throw?
Strength or dexterity?
Strength or dexterity.
I would have chosen dexterity.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I thought you said dexterity.
Yeah, I just thought you said dexterity.
I said strength, but it would be strength or dexterity, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
Well, that's my roll, I guess.
Well, yours will be... What is your dexterity?
My dexterity save would be plus 4.
Okay, so it's 9, so 13.
13.
Is your amount.
21 for Manako.
And Duran rolled a 24.
I rolled a 20.
Yes, so everyone who rolled higher than a 16, you managed to catch yourselves, either bracing yourself for being hit or jumping up into the air at the right moment, able to keep your balance. Those who have not fall tumbling into the ground and flying to the side of the ship, taking 1d6 damage. of bludgeoning damage. 3 points of bludgeoning damage. So that would just be
Me.
Horatio.
Horatio! Whoa.
Did you already add it, Horatio? Perfect. Alright. As you see this gigantic, demonic dragon turtle peer up and roar at you, you hear a bird go coming from it as the sound of it screeching pierces your ears and you cover it for the moment. I need you all to roll me initiative.
No.
Rolled a 16.
Map 8.
Minako quit on her feet with a 5 in total.
I just rolled a 16, but I'd like to use my luck points to re-roll that.
And I rolled a 6 for initiative.
I rolled an 11. Or total is 11.
My new roll is a 24.
Alright, so Duran starts the round with a 24, followed by the demon dragon turtle, which you should all see in the corner of your map. Horatio with a 16, King, then Cal, ending with Manaka.
Oh no, Manaka, what you get? Oh, dang.
Liberators, before you, seeing off into the distance, coming closer toward you, is this large demonic dragon turtle making its way towards you, summoned by the illustrious Deja. Starting the round, Duran, what do you do?
Wasting no time, Duran is going to start running towards the, let me put my map of ship parts. Towards the bow of the ship.
Alright, so you guys are right next to the bow of the ship. Are you trying to, where are you trying to go in the bow of the ship?
Duran is looking to confront the monster head on.
You can run up to the bow of the ship if you like. 5, 10, 15. Where would you like to go?
I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. He's pretty far away, Duran realizes, once he gets to the actual bow of the ship.
Like, he's far away, but he's so huge that it will take you in distance from there when you go away to the feet. Like, the closest he is about like 20 to 30 feet away from. So he's closer than you would like him to be. Like, you can clearly see him, but he's humongous, going up at least 40, 50 feet plus into the sky.
Yeah, so as Duran runs over, he realizes he's too far away to jump to reach him, and so he reaches across his back with one arm, pulling his bow out, and with the other arm grabbing a quiver from the quiver of arrows, an arrow, and as he runs closer, he knocks an arrow, and he takes a shot at the draconic enemy.
Alright, so it's close enough where you can take a shot, so go ahead and roll that attack. And you get your assassinate ability, yes.
And it rolls a
26 hits.
Awesome. And I'm going to roll that damage.
So 15 points of damage. You go ahead and release your first strike from your bow, hitting the dragon turtle square into one of its fleshy parts. It makes a loud roaring sound that shakes the bow a little bit more, and you manage to damage it with 15 points, but it's partially resisted. As you can see, a lot of the metal, or a lot of the arrow isn't able to pierce it all the way in there, just kind of scratching the surface.
Duran frowns at this, but he still pulls back a second arrow, looking for a weak point to strike, and fires an arrow at the demon again.
Make your next attack.
He rolls a 23.
Alright, 23 hits. Go ahead and roll that damage.
This time he's going to use one of his combat superiority die to add 1d8 to the damage, and also make it make a DC, let's put the DC on that up again, a DC 17 wisdom saving throw, or become frightened. But first I roll damage.
It will use a legendary it failed his throw, but it will use a legendary action to make it instead. And rolling 17 points of damage with it partially resists, so 8. You see it begin to, it reels up its head and shakes off the fear that you bestowed upon it with your attack, and stares back down at you with his large, gigantic head and eyes.
Damn it, this monster is hardy. Duran's gonna use his bonus action to move, to make the dash action to move over here. 5, 10, 15, 20. Dropping his bow and reaching for his scimitar, ending his turn.
Alright. So after taking several attacks with your bow, landing them all, attacking the creature, it stares at you, or at all of you, since its size is more than double the ship itself, and it begins to make its way over towards you. It reels back its head, and you see it inhale, and as it inhales, the wind starts to pull towards it, and you feel a gust of air get pulled into that direction. You see the waves and the current shift towards the creature momentarily as it releases a torrent blast of steam energy towards all of you, hitting all of you and the ship. I need each of you to make, Constitution saving throws.
As an American, I have an advantage on saving with the Constitution.
With a 6, Minako would use Dark One's Own Luck to give herself a D10 to her saving throw.
With a 7, Horatio is going to use that last inspiration.
With a 27, King is going to reach out a hand and pass on some of his divine favor to who needs it more.
With a 9, Duran is going to blow a second one of his lucky dice to reroll that.
I'll give it to Minako and give her. I'll use 2 of my sorcery points to give her a D4 and add 1 more to it.
So she's got a 3 plus 1 plus 6.
I have a 23.
Oh, plus 4 from
Wait.
being next to Cal, right? We all got plus 4.
Oh, I forgot about Cal's bonus.
You ain't near Cal.
Oh, that's true. I'm not. Yeah, I got. Duran got a 9.
With the 8 on the D8, Horatio's 7 becomes a 15.
Okay. So, final numbers. That was a lot of number thrown. So we'll start with Minako. Final number.
Final numbers, 13. It was 9 plus 9 plus 4. So
Got it. King, you final number.
27.
Horatio, final number.
It would be 19 with Kyle's plus 4.
Duran, final number.
All bonuses applied. 9.
Okay, and Cal, final number.
23.
All right. All those who rolled lower than an 18, so it would be Minako and Duran. You all take 60 points of scalding fire damage, half if you succeeded. So the ship automatically fails, so it also takes 60 points of damage. Yeah, and if it's fire damage, so if you're a tiefling, you take half of that. So, as the dragon turtle reels its head back, it blows out this steaming hot liquid and that burns all of your skin and even damages the shielding upon the ship itself, and the ship is rocked back and forth. The dragon turtle will then continue to make its way closer towards you. It can only go so far, but it's close enough where it gets right up on the ship. Up next is Horatio.
So Horatio's going to try to make his way to the core.
Okay. The door that was to the core has been locked, and so you'll have to get your way through some other way besides opening it as you try to open it. So you're right in front of the door right here.
Do I sense that it's been locked magically?
You can roll an investigation check. That will be your action, though.
Alright, so instead of rolling an investigation check, he has a hunch that it was locked magically. Because I don't want to waste my action figuring that out. So I'm just going to cast Dispel Magic on the door.
So releasing Dispel Magic, the energy comes out of your hands, congeals onto the door itself, and the door flies open. The magical lock placed on it has been opened up.
Right, so then as he's about to run down, he yells out, "I'm gonna need a gunner!" And he keeps making his way downtown, walking fast. No, I'm just kidding. He makes his way towards the core.
Okay, so it'll take you 30 feet to get to the first floor. So now you are here, continuing to make... so you go down the stairs after bursting the door down, running your 30 feet down there. Looking on, you see the staircase continue. You hear the familiar hum of the ship's core down the next flight of steps to your right, though you are out of movement.
That is my turn.
Okay, so up next, King.
I shout out to Horatio. Cancel the wards! I'll get us out of here! We can't defeat that! It's too big! And I'll start running towards Duran. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I'll see that he looks scalded and soaked from the steam. And I'll run forth and shake Chastiful Pollen over him and cast level 2 Cure Wounds.
Alright, cast your Cure Wounds. Alright, so 14 points of healing goes on towards Duran. Duran, you feel the energy of Myliki come upon you, and your wounds and the boils that form from the steaming hot liquid that was blown upon you by the dragon turtle heals up slightly.
We got this. I got you. And I'll give a smile, and then I'll say, let's buy Horatio some time. And I'll say, second form, spiritual weapon! And Chastifo will appear 60 feet off of the bow, and I will make a attack against the creature as I will smash it and pierce it as it spirals into, and I'm casting this at a 4th level.
Alright, make your attack. 25 hits. Roll that damage. 16 points of damage to the demon dragon turtle. As it pierces its skin that's underneath its neck, you see its black blood start to ooze out as Chataful unhinges himself from the skin, and the creature just screams in pain.
Once the boils kind of go down and Duran's no longer clenching his teeth to hold back the screams of pain, he says to King, King, what normal weapons won't work? We're gonna need something bigger.
Go be the gunner for Horatio.
Get on the guns on the back of on the stern of the ship.
Fly!
And up next is Cal. What do you do?
I'm going to stand strong where I am at currently, and I see this gargantuan sea dragon turtle beast demon. And I'm just going to start unloading with my revolver. As a bonus action, I'm going to take one of the revolvers and bend the barrel with my hand, praying to Clemvor, giving it some branding smite power as I extend my arm out in front of me and start firing.
Alright, make your attack. 21 just hits.
Okay. I dealt 14 damage with that after everything was said and done.
Alright, so you go ahead and fire your first shot. It takes a heavy hit, dealing 14 damage on the dragon, the demon dragon turtle, though you see that some of the energy was able to repel. Not all, but most of it went through.
Okay. I'm going to fire again with my magic revolver. Seeing that the first one landed, I'm going to try to get a second shot off. Ooh, with an 18, that's going to miss. It's going to go right over, I guess, like the boat was moving a little bit with the tide and the rolling waves, and I missed.
You go ahead, take your one shot, and with the shakiness of this, it throws it off. You hit nothing but the water right next to the creature.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be my turn.
Okay. So you look over and you see this. At this point, the creature is right next to your ship, so you can look up, towering above you, and causing a shadow above it with any light from any light that's showing out from the distance. This creature, and the smell of it is terrible, like rotten fish and death. Up next is Monako.
We're really gonna. Oh, curses upon thee! And she will trace her fingers in the air out a shadowy symbol and cast Hex on it, giving it disadvantage on Wisdom ability checks, and also cursing it to take more damage. And then she will, in the same sort of motion, unleash a salvo of magical blasts, just throwing out some Eldritch blasts at it. Let's see how that goes. Natural 20! At plus 30 to hit.
Nice!
Nice, roll that damage.
Dealing 18 damage plus the Hex damage, 11, for a total of 29 damage. And as the blast hits it, there's a small tear, and a sort of black strike in the air around it, and it is once the powerful force of a gripping energy sort of pushes it back 10 feet.
Okay. You go ahead and the gripping energy try to push it back. You see that it's unmoving and is unable to be pushed back. But it stands there in pain from being struck, still at the edge of your boat. More blood dripping off of it as it falls into the ground, onto the ocean, steaming up when it touches.
Releasing another Eldritch Blast, rolling an 18 for a total of 28. Dealing
28 hits.
Dealing 10 plus 6 damage for a total of 16. And a third blast, rolling a 2 for a 12 that I assume misses.
So your first shot hits it square into the face. It buckles back, the waves pushing the boat again, and all of you barely manage to keep your stances. The next one hits the water, making a huge splash as some of the water cascades onto Duran and King. And the demon looks back down, waiting to make its next strike. Anything else you'd like to do, Monako?
She will then try her best to move to a sort of safer position on the other side, not expecting there to be any safe position, but mostly just getting near Cal. And she says, I can't stop it. It won't even. It's too big.
We have to try.
All right. Up next, start at the top of the round is Duran.
Dungeon Master, how far are the arbalists? Are they at the stern of the ship? Are those real arbalists or ballistas?
So those are true ballistics. As you don't know because Horatio read this, but they are operated through a combination of the ship's power source, which is currently off, and the 3 cannons that are on each. Well, 6 cannons that are on each side of the ship. One controls one side and the other controls the other side. But you actually don't know any of this, so you do see the ballistas, so you can assume that they're just normal ballistas.
No, I mean, like, Horatio read the pamphlet and we spent a night, so wouldn't he have given some of that information?
I think we can both agree that there's no way he was able to explain it in a way that Duran would understand in one night.
Not explain it, but like say like here's where the guns are.
I would say since he didn't say that, so you did not. He just read it himself and had kept that knowledge to himself.
Okay.
Didn't Deja Vu or the Queen also mention that there's cannons, though?
Yes, you do know of
Okay.
them. You just don't know how to use
Got
them.
it.
Duran is going to use 15 feet of his 35 feet of movement to activate his Cloud Vagary.
Okay. You go ahead and complete the dance, and the familiar sense of the airs push against your feet, and you begin to fly into the air.
Duran's going to then use his bonus action. He's going to pull from his back Firethorn and cry out the activation word in Elven. And then he's going to invoke his, he'll use his Soul Burst ability, and he's going to try to launch an attack from a range of 30 feet.
Okay. So using one of your soul bursts to attack from where you stand, go ahead and make that ranged attack, which will just be the equivalent to your normal attack.
I'm going to use my last lucky of the day on that.
So your first 15 misses. Go ahead and use your last lucky. 19
I will
misses, unfortunately.
say, her guidance be upon you, and I will use 2 sorcery points and add a d4, making that a 21.
Okay. 21 just hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
It's sort of like I almost hesitate, but no, I don't in the moment. Like he's too important for me to let him fail. So any way that I can, I look towards him and cast my blessing.
And he'll also add he'll use a combat superiority die to make him make that same DC 17 wisdom saving throw, or he becomes frightened.
All right. Okay. That's a 17.
He also takes 1 more 7 in untyped damage.
Got it.
And then with the last of his movement, Duran is going to move. He's going to fly 10 feet this way and end his turn.
Okay, so Duran, you go ahead and make your strike using your vagary, shooting off your ranged attack using the winds. The energy forms around your blade, releasing a blast of wind strikes that go to the demon turtle, hit its skin but doesn't pierce it. And as before it bounced off, you see King spread out his hand, touching you with the power of Myliki, making that a bit stronger. And then it finally pierces the outer shell of the dragon turtle, and blood begins to shoot out of it as you do your 14 points of damage plus 7. Up next is the demon dragon turtle. I'm going to see if it gets its breath attack back. Okay. So he looks at all of you again, strikes back his head, and as you feel the wind blow, and all of it now is so close to you, all of you feel like the wind start to pull as you almost get sucked off of your feet, and you feel the heat start to increase into the area as there's a strange bubbling sound coming from the stomach of the demon dragon turtle when it releases its head forward, blasting off an entire torrent that would get all of you, except for Horatio, who's below deck, and the ship. So I need all of you to make Constitution saving throws again. And only Monaco benefits from Cow's bonus. So, Monaco, your final number?
A 17.
17, okay. King, your final number? 21. Duran, your final number?
22.
And Cal, your final number?
An 11.
Okay. So, everyone who rolled underneath an 18 fails, and you take... Everyone who rolled above an 18 or above passes, taking 64 points of damage, halved. So, and also this is fire damage, so you take half of that as well. So once again, and the ship is going to take another 60 points of damage. At this point, now you start to see the ship is starting to fall apart a little bit. It still looks good. It looks very hardy. It must be as being a royal ship, but nonetheless, pieces are starting to melt away, parts of the hull is being chipped away, and it has to take some damage. But it's not going to move anymore, and that was his action, so it's going to end its turn right next to your ship.
King, get us out of here!
Horatio continues running his full movement to get to the core.
Okay, so Horatio, you do your full movement and make it down to the bottom Hearing the familiar hum of the core, you make it right in front of that machine. Looking inside, you do see that it is out. That blue-white magical hue, although it's still humming, all the other pieces that are in here seem to be on. The actual core itself definitely is not on.
Does he get a maybe chaos magic sense from it at the moment?
I would say you don't have to use an action for this. Roll me an Arcana check or intelligence check. No, an Arcana check.
I rolled a 15.
You definitely feel like some type of, since you know the chaotic magic or chaotic energy, you definitely feel it's in play. But is it on right now? It doesn't look like it. It looks like it, or whatever it did its job. You can try to reactivate it. You did read how you would do it. The several steps it will definitely take some of your magical energy, and it'll be your choice so which spell slot of energy you would like to infuse into this. But you reading the instructions, you see the buttons and knobs you have to hit with using this kind of magical jumpstart to get it running again. It will take an action. Just let me know what spell slot you want to use, if you want to do this.
I feel there's that's what he would try to do. He would try to restart it. And I feel there's some urgency, so he would use a 5th level slot.
So, using the actions and letting forth your 5th level slot, you expend it, shooting into the orb that's inside of this vessel. Following that, you know the instructions, and at first nothing happens. And you kind of slam onto the furnace, saying, "Damn it, work!" Slamming onto it, and when you do for the last time, it sparks up, lighting up. You see the magical energies go through the pipes once again, and you also see the rest of you on top of the deck at this point see the sails start to shake and shimmer once again as well, and the ship begin to start to move. The ballistas on the back move and shake around as if being repowered back up. And the ship has been reactivated. Anything else you want to do on your turn? You still have your bonus action.
I can't do anything with my bonus. I would just, over brain chat, say, "It's on!" And that's Horatio's turn.
Now, with the ship repowered, King, what do you do next?
I respond, "That doesn't matter! We're leaving! Get back here right now!" And I will run around and say, "Hold on! I need everyone next to me! We can't leave without Horatio!" And I'll hold Chastafol up, and I will say Pollen Garden, and release 5 of its charges, and cast Mass Healing Word on us. So everyone should get back 19.
Okay. Everyone can remove 19 points from your wounded damage as King heals everyone on this upper area.
Yeah, I'll try and send Chastafol flying towards the face to try and yam it up its nostril or something, just to irk it and get it to back off for half a second.
Okay, roll an attack.
Okay. Sorely misses.
Natural 1.
Ooh.
Chastafol flies straight past the dragon turtle's head, goes off into the clouds.
I'm quite flustered. I will shout out, "Everyone needs to be within 10 feet of me in 5 seconds!" And then I'll end my turn.
I don't think we should run. I think we should run with the ship.
You said the ship is falling apart. I don't think we're going to be able to get it away close enough. Get it away without it breaking
how
to pieces.
disheveled is the ship?
It's not coming up. It's a very sturdy magical ship, and you remember she put up a shield that is now empowered again. Now is turned on, so it's taken some damage, definitely, but it's still sturdy.
Yeah, I don't think we should abandon this expensive ass ship that Camilla gave us.
Bye.
That's totally up to you. It's fine.
I guess I'm going to keep firing at the ship, but can I hold my movement? Because I'd like to move with Monako.
You can only hold an action. Oh, you can only hold an action.
Got it. Yeah, I'm going to, I guess, run and gun. So I'll be moving towards King, and I'm going to fire off my revolver.
All right, go ahead and roll your attack.
I'm going to use my my channel divinity this time, and I am going to use it for the guiding strike and add 10 to the roll. So that would make it a 22, which would hit.
All right, 22 will hit. Roll that damage.
All right, I see it's not doing as much damage as I want, but I hold strong and fire off again, readying some divine smite as the barrel of the revolver gets white hot, and I unleash the shot with a 22, which would hit.
All right, roll that damage.
So I end up doing about 9, 14, 23 damage.
Alright, 23 points of damage. As you fire your shots off, expending divine energy from your magical pistol blasts back the dragon turtle. As it takes a step back a little bit, it causes a small wave jostling the boat.
Minako, hurry, come close. And that'll end my turn.
And as Cal kind of says, "Come on, hurry up!" She'll run, getting into position, and running as she does so, tracing her fingers in the air, a spell, and ending in a position kind of close to Cal and Kang. She stops and then throws her hands up and lets a synaptic static out, hoping that it doesn't have less than 2 intelligence, 2 or less.
No, it does not.
Okay, good. I didn't think it did.
Alright, so it failed.
Aha! Fails its save, taking 18 points of psychic damage plus 1d6 necrotic damage, which is 5 necrotic damage. So it takes 23 points of damage in total, and is afflicted with synaptic static, getting a minus d6 on all ability checks and attack rolls.
Okay.
For 1 minute.
The dragon shakes his head in pain as it roars out. Back. It takes a step back slightly, jostling the boat once again. The boat at this point is starting to move. I mean, there's no helmsman, but it's just moving away from the dragon turtle. And at the end of your turn, is there anything else you wish to do?
No, that's it. She just passes.
Okay. At the end of your turn, at this point, the boat starts to move. It starts to pick up, and it goes about 60 feet away from the dragon, but it's going in just any random direction, not in anywhere, since no one's taking the helm as it speeds ahead. So we're just gonna put the dragon behind here. All right, top of the round, Duran.
So, Horatio would have been probably. I mean, it's safe to say we would be talking to each other over brain chat the entire time.
That's fine. Yeah, you guys can free action communicate all you want with your brain chat.
So Horatio would fight for the cause of just running away with the boat to get to Thelos.
The choice is up to you.
I'll say, if this dragon bites the ship once more, I'm leaving. Whether you're coming or not, Horatio, your choice to accept the spell.
Wizard Horatio, please, we need stronger weapons to fight this monster.
And we have them on this boat.
We can't just go back.
Too much is riding on
The
this.
case for going back is Camilla could be dead now.
Send a message to Camilla. Let her know.
I can't!
All right, Duran, it's your turn.
We will not let this mission fail. We will save these people. We will get to Thelos. Duran is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, using his bonus action to dash. 70 to get to this arbalist over here. What does it take to interact? Was it Horatio? How does this thing work?
You said, Omar, that it functions like a seat that you sit down and it takes you and gives you control of these. Yeah, so Horatio would explain that to
Duran's just going to try to wing it if it's not possible for him to explain it while he's using it, though.
I will say that it will take an action for you to understand how to use it from Horatio for the time it will take, so you won't be able to fire, or you can just try to wing it, and then you'll see what happens.
Duran's going to try to wing it.
Okay, as Horatio is trying to explain to him, you're just like, not enough time. You hop into this seat here, you hop into the seat and hitting all types of buttons. It begins to spin around and twist, and all of you see like almost like a mechanical bull, Duran, on this weapon until it finally points into the right direction. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
Wisdom check, okay. Not saving throw, but wisdom check. Oof! Natural 1!
You go onto it and you start to hit it. It's spinning around in circles. For the rest of your turn, you're finally trying to make sense of this, and unfortunately it does not work, and you are just sitting in the seat spinning around in all different types of directions.
Duran was going to use an action surge to try it again.
Okay. Using your action surge, I would say that finally, after hitting the right buttons, you finally get it into place. And you're listening. Horatio is still talking to your ear, and you're just finally starting to listen to him. Using your action turn to just take what he said into account, you luckily hit the right button. The entire seat and weaponry goes into the ground, going into this weird capsule. From there, you can see clearly off into the distance where the dragon turtle is, and a reticule pointing towards it. And since you are somewhat familiar with how cow gun work, you see that it's works more like a gun-like motion where you would aim and pull the trigger. As you go ahead and start to pull the trigger, you all feel the vibration of the ship beneath your feet as cannons protrude out from the side that Duran is currently locating. They all begin to twist and converge directly at the point that Duran is aiming, and you go ahead and attempt to fire. Can you please make for me another dexterity check? Okay, an 8. You're not familiar with this, so you would
okay, I would like to try to. I don't know how high the save is or how low the save is for this, but I'm going to try adding my Rabu bonus to this if possible.
Okay, go right ahead.
Don't! I rolled a 1.
My car's not with you today.
Can't hear his voice over all the mayhem.
Exactly. It's too much to go on, and unfortunately, you go ahead and pull the trigger. You all hear the humming of the as 3 streaks of light come out of the starboard side of the ship, shooting off towards the dragon turtle. Since you're not used to it, the dragon turtle it misses it completely, going landing on the sides and back of the dragon turtle. Although you hear it screaming in pain, it's not directly hit, but a humongous wave is created. You see the sheer power of one of these shots. But as the wave comes down and the water finally hits back down to its crest, you see that the dragon turtle is still standing there off in the distance. So that is your movement, your action, and your bonus.
End of Duran's turn.
Alright, up next, the dragon turtle. Let's see if it gets its breath back. Come on, give me that 5 and 6. 5 and 6. It does not get its breath back. Roll a 4. Instead, it will move 40 feet. So at this point, it gets right behind where Duran is, but Duran, you're inside of it, so it doesn't see you or anything like that. But it only has a movement speed of 40. It's just huge, so it can reach 15 feet. It will attack the ship.
Does the ship have like a shield?
Yes,
now?
it does. So it makes 3 attacks. It's going to make it 3 against the ships. That's the closest thing to it. The first attack is a miss with a 2. With a 21, the second attack hits. And with a 7... I'm sorry. With a 10, the third attack misses. So it goes down, lifting up his large, gigantic claw. It goes and bats at the back of the ship, hitting the shield and it bouncing back, crying out in pain and frustration. It goes to make a second strike, this time with his mouth. It bites down past the barrier and manages to make impact onto the ship itself. Though it is absorbed by the barrier, nonetheless you all feel the actual physical effects and are jostled back and forth. Everyone on the actually even Horatio, make me strength or dexterity saving throws. Alright, starting at the top. Horatio, your final number.
I rolled a 12.
Alright, you are knocked prone you are knocked prone. Actually, yeah, you're just knocked prone. You don't take any damage. Manako, final number.
14 with if Cal helps here.
Correct.
All right, you are knocked prone.
Whoa!
Duran, final number.
Number 15.
You are fine in your seat. King, final number.
25 with the blessings of Calimvor.
You are fine in your seat. And Cal,
I rolled a natural 20, getting a 28 total.
you are fine in you are not knocked prone. So just Horatio and Manako are knocked prone onto the ground. You have to use half your movement to stand up and continue on your next turn. But it does roll some damages. 17 points of damage to the ship as more pieces of it starts to fall off. It still looks in good condition. You definitely think that Queen Camilla prize ship is a force to be reckoned with. But with no one guiding the ship, it jostles back and forth and starts going into any random direction. Actually, it seems to be turning towards the starboard side, making like its way directly as if it's turning around closer towards the dragon turtle. With that, the dragon turtle will end its turn right on the back of this ship. Horatio, you're up next.
Horatio would use half his movement to stand up, so he only has 15 feet, and he will walk those 15 feet towards the front and then cast mage armor on himself with this action.
So you say you're walking halfway up the stairs?
Yeah.
So you make it about halfway on the stairs, casting your mage armor, protecting yourself. You feel the magical energies all around you, creating a shell of protection. Anything else you wish to do?
No, that is the end of his turn.
Alright, up next, King.
I will see that the boat is now in motion and the turtle is slowly going away. It's relieving me a little bit, but I'm still extremely uneasy. Seeing how wounded and hurt my allies are, I'm going to tap my front forward, my first foot forward, lift my hands up and flourish, and then start to spin and turn and take a step forward. And I'm going to use a soul burst and activate my Royal Dominion and cascade mist ripples out from me, healing and rejuvenating my allies within 20 feet.
All right. So at the start of the rest of your turn, you are healed as King starts to dance around, performing his waltz and rejuvenating the area, creating his domain. You all feel the mist come upon you and heal you.
For my action, I'm going to look at Duran in the chair facing the brunt of the demon turtle, and I'll hold my hands up and make a few quick hand motions and use a sorcery point to cast Cure Wounds at a distance and touch him, and I will heal him a 3rd level. And lastly, even though Chastifol is off in the distance near the turtle, I'll use my other hand and make a gesture of like a strike, and have as my bonus action can channel Chastifol to swipe towards the dragon turtle.
All right, make an attack with Chastifol.
25.
That's a hit. Roll damage. Okay. The 22 points of damage hits as Chastifol strikes the dragon turtle in its back. It rears in pain, and you hear the coming from it as it begins to shake the waves below. Once again, you feeling the tremors below your feet.
And as I swirl and dance, I'll offer a hand to Minako as I did weeks ago, and offer her a hand to dance and lift her up as I pass my turn.
Alright, Cal, you are healed with being within the Dominion. 2 points. What do you do with your action?
I am going to run and dash upstairs and get seated in the other gun.
Okay. Do you have enough movement to run all the way over there?
If I'm using my action to also move, I should have.
Oh, you're
I'm
dashing
forward.
sorry.
So.
Oh yeah, you totally will make it there.
We need.
So you go ahead and dash towards it. It will be an action to interact with it. So unless you have an action surge.
I do actually have an action surge. But first I want to take a free action and just yell out, "We need someone to take the wheel!" before I use my action surge to swing around and attempt to shoot this terrible beast.
Cap that fool, Cal!
Is that the wheel right behind them?
Yes.
Yes.
Like this right here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the capstan that's at the other end.
Yeah, that's for the anchor.
But right, so you use your action surge and try to get into the machine. I would say you heard Horatio's instructions as he was broadcasting this to everyone, so you can easily just use your action and get into it. By doing so, you're once again also transported into this lower region in this capsulated area where you see the ridicule as well. From when you're standing and the way that it shaped, the way that the boat moved, you can barely see because the dragon turtle at this point will be behind you directly. So you can barely see the dragon turtle off into the distance. But you can go ahead and make me a dexterity check. You can make a ranged spell attack. I mean, a ranged attack, because you are familiar with this type of weaponry and this gun, so you can use your proficiency bonus. But it would have to be a disadvantage because you're on the other side.
Okay, so
it's like make an attack as if you were making one with your gun.
Okay, we'll do.
And that's a hit anyway.
2 16s. Wow, that's good.
Yeah, awesome. So that's a 23 total, 16 at disadvantage plus 7.
All right, so you made your attack. So go ahead and roll me 10d10. 41 points of damage. All right, let's apply that. So, Cal, you barely see it off into the distance from your angle, but with your sharpshooter eye, you're still able to hit it nonetheless. Go ahead and targeting like the one section that's visible. The ridicule, you shoot force the 3 cannons off the other side. They protrude out like on the starboard side, these from the port side, and release is these white and blue lights shine down and shoot onto the side of the dragon turtle, and all you hear is as it squeals in pain, striking it. All of you see a gigantic wave of energy just strike onto it, and then a wave of water bashes against the ship's hull. but you did quite some damage towards it. As the water finally settles down, you see like a good chunk of the demon dragon turtle has been erased.
All right. And then that'll be my turn.
All right. Up next is Monako. You're healed 1 by King's Dominion.
She will take King's hand, and as he helps her up, and kind of looking at him, she gives a firm nod, and then will proceed to dance with him, like they did all that time ago. She will do that to attempt to assist his dance moves in whatever way she can, if that's a possibility. Is that a possibility?
Roll me a performance check.
Okay.
I give you advantage.
A unnatural 20, dropping a 1.
Okay. So as you begin to dance with King and following his lead, you try to sync up with his motions and with his dominion. As you go ahead and move the steps, you feel it's strange, but you can feel a presence other than your own here. And this presence feels like it's smirking, smiling at you. And you give in to the dance, and both of you start spinning around in plates. There is a glow that comes from both of you as the water-like mist that's around the center hull, the center deck, blends in with this strange crystals that come out of Monaco's feet. As they begin to form together, you see forming up, you see a large crystal-like mirror appear that forms from the mist that King created in Monaco's crystals that she formed from her feet, making a large 30-foot mirror that goes 50 foot across, basically blocking you, where all of you are, and where the dragon turtle is, as it begins to bring his head back as if it's trying to make another breath attack against you, if that makes sense. So there's this gigantic 60-foot, 30-foot high, 60-foot wide structure that's blocking the ship and the dragon. But you can see through it because it's clear. But you can obviously see that something physical is there.
And she will spend a soul burst in her action to movement, just making sure this whole effect happens.
Okay, fair enough. So that anything else you would like to do? You still have your half movement. And all the other things you have your action. Well, no, the performance was the action, I would say, to make this right. So you still have your bonus action and the rest of your movement.
Can we, since technically like a pull action, she can use half of her movement to bring someone, even though it's not a pull, can we like dance closer towards the thing, since we said in brain chat like someone needs to steer the helm?
She'll do her best to try to, if possible, help move him with her action. Just if it's not possible.
Like, even if it's like 5 feet, like I'm not saying like 20 feet or a full distance, like just a tiny bit.
Such that when we're dancing, we end a little closer to it.
Yeah, I would say you get 5 feet because you're pulling him towards you, so I'll give you half that. You get 5 feet closer towards it.
And that's it for her.
Okay. Top of the round, Duran, you're up. You still see it within your sights, though at the angle that is at now, you also would have to make your check at disadvantage, which since you're not proficient, would just be a dexterity check. Or you can spend an action to get out, but it will be an action to get out. The choice is yours.
Duran's going to try those odds. I'm going to make that dexterity check. He said...
Disadvantage, yes.
All right.
Ooh, right, a 19. Let me just double check its AC, hold on. Yeah, okay. So you go ahead and fire once again the shot. It charges up and shoots off towards the creature. Unfortunately, it just misses it as it hits nothing but the water next to it, though it does make it go a little bit off balance as it steps around back, making big waves as it makes each movement.
Curses, I can't hit it! That's all that Duran's got for his turn.
Alright. Up next, it's Dragon Turtle. Does it get its breath back? Okay. So you see it step back a little bit so it can get the entire... So it's now clearly directly behind the ship at this point. It brings its head all the way back, and you all hear kind of the sound effect of a large moving object moving slightly, and it releases back another torrent of steam at it. It comes down, hits the gigantic mirror that separates it and the ship, and you all just see the mirror reverberate and shake, and you'll put up your hands to your faces, thinking that it's going to strike you, but then it reflects back, shattering the mirror, and you see the blast of steam hit the dragon itself. The dragon has to make a disadvantage, a Constitution saving throw, because it's not ready for it. Okay, that is a failure. So it takes half of 50 points of damage because it is resistant to fire damage. Okay. And it will continue to move its 40 feet to get right up behind the ship again. But the ship at this point has moved a little bit slightly. Horatio, you're up next.
Horatio would dimension door from here to the top.
Okay.
And he would probably go towards the helm to steer the ship once he sees that King and Minako are dancing in the middle of a fight. But he knows what's going on.
About to say!
He knows why you guys are dancing. Like, it's comical to him. Like, oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to, with my keen mind, hopefully steer in the right direction. Horatio wants to remember the plan that we had and kind of correct our direction to start doing that arc towards Beach Bell. Or,
right.
Actually, no. I'm sorry. Cancel that. We know that this was a trap. So he's going to head directly towards Beach Bell and just speed away from the turtle.
So you, with your keen mind, you can surmise where you're at, looking up at the sky, and before it doesn't take you much to know that you have to go at this point southeast to get to Beach Bell. So roll me a survival check.
Ooh, boy. I don't get no type of advantage in that?
No. Do you know how to drive vehicles? Are you proficient in vehicle travel?
I'm proficient in intelligent.
No. So with a 9, the not so wise Horatio, you're unable to. I mean, you get a good grip onto it, and you just start just sailing off in one direction. You're not sure which direction you're going at this point.
Instead of like spinning in circles, though, we can like go away from the turtle.
Yeah, you're just going away from the turtle at this point. But it does go another 60 feet, so the turtle is on this side, but like further in the back.
Well, I would make sure to steer it so that I can give both of them vision of the turtle.
Okay, that when you have your action, you can do that. This is just you were just doing a normal check to get control of the ship.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So, guiding the ship in some direction, hoping enough to get yourself vantage so you can keep the turtle far away from you, but in an ability to shoot it, Horatio takes the helm. And up next, King. The icy mirror shatters and falls down to you and starts to turn back into water and crystals as you have deflected against the dragon's breath, but your shield is no longer there.
As we continue to dance in place, I'll say, see what our powers combined can do, and I will continue to dance, and I will get... How far away is it? Can I see it?
You can see it. It's a huge creature.
Let me just check the spell real quick. The distance. 120 feet.
So it's definitely within 120 feet because you only went 60 feet away from it. So it's been within 60 feet and then it goes 40 feet. So you've always been like 20 feet away from it. At this point, it's about 80 feet.
Okay. As we spin and dance, I'm gonna like pull her hand and like dance around. And as we get a little bit closer to the edge, I have sweat dripping off of us and also from the steam before. I'm gonna let go of her hands for a second and wipe my head and grab a bead of sweat and like flick it off at the direction of the dragon turtle. And I'm going to say, overflow, and the bead of sweat is going to hit the water and then cause this surge and rush and create a tidal wave that rushes out towards the dragon turtle. It's 60 feet long and 30 feet wide. When I hit it, or it has to make a dexterity saving throw, and I have it targeted. A 23! Jesus
He
Christ.
succeeds with a 23.
Okay, it still does half damage, but it does not knock it prone, but maybe it was enough to at least push it off course. So I was trying to basically just try and like create like a huge force to make it a huge force of water to make it harder for it to sort of swim up back up to us and try and create a little bit more of a gap. And then once I've finished casting the spell, I'll like do a spin in place and then put my hand back out and continue to dance with Minako if she wants. And then let me also reapply the regen for everybody. As you guys feel me walk closer, this restorative mist sort of flows around you and you feel this familiar comfort of King. And then I will
King, we're inside of those gun turrets, though. I don't know if the mist can reach us.
Yeah, the mist doesn't reach them because they're inside the gun turrets.
Oh, it's like a room?
Yeah, they're like in a room.
No healing for y'all then. I tried. Okay.
I mean, they're also not taking damage from the breath of fire now, or steam.
And I also just dismissed Chastifoe because it was so far away that I could not possibly move it fast enough to keep up with the turtle to attack it.
All right. Okay, so entering them into your dominion and casting forth your tidal wave, it hits across the demon dragon turtle. Keep pushing it slightly off balance, but it catches itself before it falls down prone and roars at you. Cal, you're up next. You cannot see it whatsoever at this point.
Yeah, I was just
So
hold my turn because I can't really do anything.
Okay, you can hold your action for you would fire when it's within.
When it's visible, yeah.
Okay, up next, Minako.
Minako continues to dance with King, using at least 15 feet of movement to do so. She sees him kind of twirling in the direction there, and she joins him. Even once more, expending a soul burst to try to put as much of herself into the dance, pouring what love she has into the movements.
You can roll me another performance check, see if you can recreate the same miracle before.
An 8 plus 5, giving a 13.
13. As you create the steps, although your vagary is activated and you can create the normal stone encapsulating spell that you normally have, that you obviously don't use on your allies, unfortunately not able to create that crystalline mirror, that crystalline ice mirror with King. It does not appear.
As the guilt bears down on her from Dream.
She's trying to pour her heart into it, but as she holds his hand and sees his eyes, she realizes that she could be doing more.
Right. That end your turn?
Does she have an action? I don't remember.
Well, yeah. The dancing
Okay.
is just part of your your movement action.
Then, during the twirls, she unleashes a series of Eldritch Blasts.
All right, go ahead and roll your attacks.
That is a 19 in total, which misses.
That misses.
Next attack for a 23, which
That hits. Roll damage.
which hits for a total of 10 plus an extra d6 of necrotic damage. 12 in total, and then the third one, which hits
That 27 hits. Roll damage.
for 7 damage plus 2 necrotic damage for a total of 20, 21, 12 plus 9. Oh, she gets the third one. Oh, she missed with one of them, right? Did she?
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, so firing your Eldritch Blast, 2 hit, 1 misses, but you're able to strike the dragon turtle. As you see it off into the distance, it begins to scream in pain. Alright. Anything else you wish to do? Or does that end your turn?
That will end her turn.
Alright. The boat will move into a direction that hopefully Horatio feels is towards your destination. 60 feet, getting you even further away from the dragon turtle. The boat continues to go back, and at this rate of back and forth, as you're sailing for a little bit, firing back at the beast, eventually you're able to cover so much distance as now this ship is picking up and the speed is just increasing as the wind gets behind its back. You slowly but surely escape from the clutches of this demon dragon turtle, and you see it just fade off in the horizon as it screeches and yells in anger, not able to get its meal. You guys successfully escape from the demon dragon turtle.
Looks like we got rid of it.
Don't be so hasty in that judgment. It might come back. We have to stay on guard.
Well, we just got to keep moving then.
Yeah.
And with Horatio at the helm, guiding his way towards Beach Bell, you all fade off into the horizon, knowing that you still have several days left in your travel. And with that, we will end tonight's session.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.